Hello, this is day 12 of the daily tutorial, and today I will do some more work on the background, and I will start today with a cold gray number 2. It's a very light gray, and I will use it in the areas where I put the yellow. I will put it in the area where the blue and the yellow comes together. Let's see how that will go. I am using this light gray to blend the yellow and blue areas. If I would use only yellows and blues, the blended areas would become very green, and at this point in my drawing I do not want that. And by using a cool gray, a light one, I'm searching for a word. I cannot find it in English. Anyway, I'll try to describe it. I try when I use this light gray, the blended area will not become as green as if it would with yellows or blues. It's a cool gray. That means that it fits well with the blues in the background. And this gray also tones the colors a little bit down. And for me, this coloring process is constantly between toning down, adding more bright colors, toning down again, until the result feels just fine. Let's take a look and see what I just did. This is good. I'll do another area. Often when I am coloring, especially drawings from nature, I try to make a complete story about a picture, about a drawing. and that most of the time has a lot to do with determining what time of year it is in the drawing, what the weather is like. Is it in the morning? Is it in the afternoon? Is it at night? And when I know exactly in which time of year I want the drawing to be, and at what point of the day, what moment of the day, it becomes much easier to choose my colors and to get the right feeling. Now for this particular drawing, I am thinking about, it is a pretty sunny day somewhere in springtime. It is not summer yet, so temperatures are not extremely high, and maybe the temperature is pretty cold, not freezing, but anyway. Sometimes the idea of weather, time of day, time of the year, things like that evolve with the drawing. And in this case, I know it is somewhere in spring, but and I know the sun is shining because of the shading. And I think I will add some more colors to the shading, so the sun will shine brighter, even brighter than it does now. But at this point I think the grays that I am adding to the background now will give the impression eventually, I hope, that there is some sort of a fog. Just a little bit of mist shining, the sun shining through. But at this point it's just a thought, an idea. And now let's see if it works. If it doesn't work, well, no big deal. Then we'll go for another type of weather. I will tone down this area of yellow also a little bit, just a slight touch of gray. I'm often thinking that while I am recording these videos, these tutorials, I often have the feeling that you are coloring with me at the same time. And that gave me the idea to draw this ink drawing again, and make it available for you on the internet, so you can download it and you can try the entire tutorial yourself if you want. So that is what I'm going to do. As soon as it is available, I will let you know. because this gray is so light, I do not have to be so careful. I can make little mistakes because it is so subtle. So what I'm doing right now is just make the yellows and the blues come together more and toning down the brightest areas of yellow. You may, that was strange. There was the camera flipped. You may not see a lot of difference now that I have added the gray, but I will continue using the gray later in the process, because this is absolutely going to work, and I think I will use a darker gray as well eventually. So this is good. I'm happy. I will now add more blues, and I start with the lightest blue in my set, sky blue. And I just sharpened it. The sharp point makes it easier to color the papers in the lower areas of the paper, because every paper has a tooth. Some are very smooth, but for drawing, a paper with a little tooth works nice. And that means that there are little hills and valleys. Now, when your pencil is sharp, it is easier to also color the valleys. I sometimes use blunt pencils on purpose, because then I will only color the hills and I will leave the valleys, so I can use those areas for colors I want to blend. But at this point I want to cover a lot of paper. And then a sharp point works pretty well. Okay, now let's go a little darker. Here is light ultramarine. It also has a sharp point. I'm not pressing very hard because I feel that this light ultramarine needs a little more blending with other colors. So I do not want to cover all the paper. So now we will go to the light phthalo blue. This is one of my favorite pencils for this particular drawing, because it has, to me, I think it has the perfect blue color for this background. So let's take a look from above. This looks good. I'll continue a little bit more. I will expand this colored area this way, over here, and a little bit over here. And again, I will start with the sky blue, just a little bit. And in this case, I am using the sky blue just to blend this area with the darker areas over here. Now I know because the branch is dark on the bottom, I want the background to be lighter to make contrast. So then we go for the light ultramarine. And this is the light phthalo blue. Still, I'm not pressing very hard on the pencil. It is still a light touch. It is a bit firmer than in the earlier stages of the drawing, but still I want to leave room for more layers of color. And now I will do the phthalo blue. It is slightly darker than the light phthalo blue. And I will use this not everywhere, just here and there. Now I wasn't this is an area I need to look at because the shading is very dark and the background is very dark as well. And I think we can do better. And I think a lighter background will work much better. So here's the eraser. And this is the sky blue again. And the light phthalo blue. So let's take a look again. This looks good. And I think I will add a little more gray to the background. I decided to put a little more gray over here, and I am using a darker gray than I used earlier. This time I used the cold gray number 4, and I'll try an area first just to see what the effect will be. Never rush when you're using a new color in your drawing. Okay, this is good. I'm using that light touch again. There was one viewer who asked me if I keep the pencils that I'm using for a particular drawing, if I keep them separate, just to make it easier to remember which colors I used. But I don't. I just put them back in my carry-all bag. It's a Derwent carry-all bag. And because I use so many colors in a drawing, well, it's really if I had to remember them, it would be easier to remember which colors I do not use. So now I'll get back with the lighter cold gray number 2. In this area I can use the gray to tone down the yellows, and that can help because both the pink in the flower, in the bud, and the yellow in the background are warm colors, and there is not much contrast between the two of them, and eventually I want this bud to be more important than the background, so I will tone it down a little bit. I will use the dark, what is it, the cold gray number 4 again. Just a slight touch. Here's the cold gray number 2. It's going back and forth between different colors. So now it may seem that there's that not much has changed, in the drawing. Yesterday we had the spectacular change of the leaves, but today it is a more subtle change, and these subtle changes will be there until the end of the drawing and until I finish it. So I'll add a little more blue on the left side of the drawing. I'll go back to the sky blue. There's a lot of white paper in this area, so I will add some more color. Now when I am recording videos like this, I'm using my smartphone on a little tripod, and I'm using natural light, just the sunshine from, I'm sitting in front of a window, or the window is on the right side of me. I'm left-handed, so I always make sure the light comes from the right, from this direction. Otherwise I would make a shadow on the drawing and you wouldn't see what I'm doing. So that is why I always have the window on the right. And what I love most is when I am recording in springtime and the beautiful blackbird is singing in our garden. That happened last year, and there's a video somewhere in which in which I'm coloring, and there is live music from the blackbird. The bird song you hear at the beginning of every tutorial video. I recorded it last May on 5 a.m. in the morning. My husband had to travel for his work, for his job, and he had to take an early plane. And I decided to drive him to the airport, and we had to leave at 5 a.m. and there was this beautiful concert of birds in our in the neighborhood where we live. That was absolutely stunning, and I have the intention of waking up early sometime this spring to record it again. But I'm not convinced if I'm really going to do that. Because 5 a.m. is pretty early for me. But I absolutely adore birdsong. This is Inden 3 in blue. I've used it before. It's a very intense blue. It has some warmth to it. It is not purple, certainly not. But it is not, it doesn't look cold. Now in this area the yellow and the blues blended too much, and now it looks like green. That is not what I'm looking for. So first I'm going to try to fix it by adding a little bit of yellow, and I'm using a cadmium yellow. It's a slightly darker yellow than I used before, because it needs to cover some of the green and the blues. Now, as you can see, it does work, but I need to be careful. It shouldn't be too bright. So I will now add some more blue over here, and I think I will start with the dark indigo, but I will not use it on here where the brown spot on the leaf is. Just a little bit here on the downside. Just a little bit. And I'll step back for a moment because I'm not sure whether this yellow works. Well, I'll leave it that way, and I think I will use an eraser to smooth things out, and I will use the eraser pencil. It's the Faber-Castell Perfection, and it is an eraser pencil. Now, the point is a little bit smudgy, but that doesn't matter. And I'll just see if I can erase some of the color. I used to have a rather stupid rule for myself, and that was that I would never use an eraser when coloring, because that would suggest that I made a mistake. Now, I am a perfectionist, and I already told you something about perfectionism and what how it can ruin your joy in coloring. But I told myself Faber-Castell Polychromos pencils are erasable, so use it. Use the fact that they are erasable. And I'm doing that now. I'm erasing when I think I need to erase. Just like now. Just do it. This looks much better. Now I am going to do something which I think is very dangerous, and that is I'm going to do something about the flowers. I always tend to color flowers too dark and too, with too much pressure for some reason. I never use pressure until I start coloring flowers, and that leaves the flower being heavy weighted and just not like a flower. So what I will do now, I will start with this light flesh, and this is not the color I wished I would have, but there are not so many light pinks and light colors in the Faber-Castell set, in my opinion. That is could be a reason for me to buy another set of pencils. I have no idea which set that would be. So I use the light flash to put a basic color to the leaf, and now I will just be very careful, because this is where I go wrong all the time. This is pink Meadow Lake, by the way. I like strokes like this, because you put the pencil on the paper, and then as you strike it away from you, the pressure will slightly diminish and your strokes will become lighter to the end of the line that you just drew. I just sharpen the pencil so you can see better what I'm doing. I put the pencil on paper and then I so. This is the result so far. I'm pretty happy with it. I will leave it this way and do another flower. Now I constantly feel the urge to color the whole petal, and I must not do that, so I try to tell myself, stop it girls, stop it now. And that is, for some reason, I find it very difficult when it comes to coloring flowers. I'm not happy with this petal because there's a stroke over here that goes in the wrong direction. It should go like this and I put it like this. I'll show you, because this is important. You can see there's a stroke here like this, and it's not very visible on the screen, but I can see it clearly with my eye just on the paper, and this will make the leaf look less natural. So I will do something about that in a later stadium. So I did the other leaves as well, and the bud on the left side. I will now do the other two buds on the right side. I'm using the same kind of strokes as I did with the leaf, with the petals of the flowers. Now, as you may have noticed in nature, sometimes buds have a more intense color than when the leaves of when the flower opens itself. So I use that so I can add a little more color to the buds than to the flowers. So this is it so far. Looking at this drawing right now, I can see that I need to put more pinks and oranges and reds in the background, so I will do that. For example, I did it already over here, and you can see there some sort of harmony comes in that area of the drawing. And with adding some more pinks over here and on the top, this feel of harmony will be in the entire drawing. I will add a darker pink eventually in the flowers, but at this point I will leave it the way it is. So I am happy with the result so far, and I will continue tomorrow, so hopefully I will see you tomorrow. Bye bye.